Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Mossor. That is one of my best friends, David Kahoun, and you're locked into another episode of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. Tonight is Season 2, Episode 15, Episode 28 overall. David, 28 episodes since we started this, not even a year ago. That's insane.
Crazy. It's just flying by, really. I feel like every week we're getting better and better, and we're just really enjoying diving in deep, talking about fantasy football, and helping you prepare for the upcoming league. Because before you know it, the summer's going to be over, and fantasy football is going to be here. So
yeah, and after a 3-week break, it feels damn good to be back, David.
I know, I missed you.
Yeah, David went on a mini vacation, recharged the batteries, and the second that we sat back down, literally just 15, 20 minutes ago, it was like we never missed a beat. The notes came out, takes started flying, the excitement to get back behind the mics, at least for me, hit instantly. We've been itching to talk fantasy football again. And I think the perfect topic is sitting right in front of us because even though the coaching hires, happened months ago, this is the time of the year that the dust finally settles and we start to understand what these moves actually mean in terms of fantasy football.
Yeah, and you start to see the impact that the coaching carousel has on fantasy football players because minicamp is just starting up now. The install of these playbooks is just now happening, and so you're going to start seeing it on social media from all the highlights of what kind of impact these coaches have. So, yeah, it's the perfect time to have this episode, I think.
Yeah, new systems are being installed. New terminology is being learned. Players are, figuring out, where they fit, and fantasy managers are trying to, get ahead of the curve before training camp even opens. As David said, the coaching carousel, didn't just spin; it reshaped almost a third of the league. 10 new head coaches, dozens of new coordinators. Entire identities being rebuilt from the ground up. And whenever the NFL changes this much, I think fantasy football changes right along with it. Some players get squeezed, some players get revived, and some players, the ones I think we're talking about tonight, get a massive boost because the coach, walking through the door is exactly what they needed. Yep. Tonight, we're breaking down we each have individually 5 favorite beneficiaries of the 2026 coaching cycle. We do not know each other's lists here. That's how we do it here. So, we might have some of the same guys, we might not. That's the fun. 5 guys whose fantasy value rises because the scheme, fits them, the philosophy fits them, and the opportunity fits them. These guys aren't guesses. They're not hype pieces. These are players who, we think situations legitimately improved the moment their new head coach signed the contract. So settle in, get comfortable, grab whatever you're drinking tonight, and let's talk about the new coaching carousel and what players will benefit the best. Real quick, I do have breaking news. Yeah. I do have breaking news. Do you want to drop a blah, 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 blah or something? You got anything?
Blah, 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 blah.
That was it, I guess. The Panthers have signed wide receiver Jalen Coker to a 3-year, $35 million contract extension. So the undrafted free agent out of Holy Cross, a lot of people's sleepers, the guy who stepped up, when it was unexpected, is finally, going to get, the benefits reaped of that. So good for him. That's really awesome. You Jalen Coker holders, and the fact that they have Quet McMillan from last year. Yep. They just drafted Chris Brazo. I mean, it sounds like they are thinking that Jalen Coker, their undrafted free agent from just a few years ago, is going to be still a part of that equation on the offense. So that's good to know for Jalen Coker managers for fantasy football.
Yeah, he's been a sleeper for a while now, so that's good news that he's getting that kind of investment from that front offense and that team that believes in him. So one to watch out for as the season rolls around.
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're rocking with us and you enjoy what we're talking about here for fantasy football, go ahead and give us a follow. We're on all social media platforms, so we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X, formerly Twitter. We are on TikTok. We are on, well, I don't even know what else is out there.
Instagram. We're on everything.
Instagram. That's a good one. I always forget about that one. But yeah, we're trying to be pretty much everywhere that you are. So go ahead and give us a follow. Give us a thumbs up. Leave some comments for us because we love interacting with you all during these live streams. We will be live every Thursday at 7:30-ish p.m. to talk through fantasy football for you for the upcoming weeks in the upcoming season. And so you're not going to want to miss it. Turn on the notifications. And if you're not on social media, you can still find us wherever you get your podcast at. So
even if you're on social media, please go to your Apple Music, go to your Spotify, go to any of those, and please subscribe to us, guys. We work really, really hard on this. We are so appreciative of all the support. We are gaining so much ground on this, and it's great to have that validation. We're so grateful for you guys. Please, you don't just have to follow us on one platform. You don't just have if you don't have social media, even if you do, David, please go subscribe to us. Give us a 5-star rating. Please give us a review, because we definitely could use it. We're so grateful for you guys, and hopefully we're bringing value to you. So we just hope for just a couple clicks. That's all.
Yeah, and turn on automatic downloads, because you're not going to want to miss all the important info that we got coming up as we get closer and closer to the season. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be great. You're not going to want to miss it.
Real quick, we are brought to you by Mossor Moments Photography. We are a husband and wife wedding photography team based in Cleveland who specialize in providing the best wedding photos in Northeast Ohio. It's my own company, my wife and I. Check out our website at mossormomentsphotography.com. That's MOSSOR momentsphotography.com. David, how you been, man? Haven't talked to you in a couple weeks.
Dude, I'm good. Been busy. As you said, we took a couple of weeks off. We were supposed to go on vacation, but then we had to do some house renovations, and it turned into a much bigger project than I thought it would. But yeah, my parents and family have been... Oh, like, we're redoing a lot. Like, we redid our whole kitchen. We're doing flooring everywhere, new doors, trim, our bathroom, like literally everything. And so my family has been super helpful, so I really appreciate them, because we could not have done this without them. But yeah, so we had to cancel some vacation plans, which sucks, because we were excited to go see my brother down in Alabama. But
shout out Ryan.
We just got to get this done. And so, yeah, it's been good. Really excited about it. But yeah, just ready to get it done and get back to life as normal. But how you doing?
Dude, I'm good. I've been busy, man. I don't know. I've been garage sailing a lot.
Ooh, this is the season.
No, David, you don't understand. I have, in the last 2 weekends, I have gone to close to 300 garage sales. 300. Those
are rookie numbers.
Literally, I'm addicted. My grandpa took me when I was little. I love Goodwill. I go to literally Goodwill 6 times a week. I'll go on a Wednesday, take my boys, and we'll go to 6 Goodwills. I'm not even kidding. It's insane. It's stupid, but I like reselling. I like buying back my childhood. I like thrifting. It's fun. Tons of my wrestling room is complete because of my garage sales. So excited. I print out maps and get on Facebook they'll have community garage sale and all the addresses, and I'll literally X out where every single house is and map my best way for most efficiency, and it's insane. It's stupid, but I love it. And then this weekend, a lot of fantasy junkies here, obviously. I am a part of the Scott Fishbowl Fantasy Cares Fantasy Football Leagues. Last year I was in an offline draft, and it was a pleasure to be a part of that. Only 2,000 people get accepted. Over 10,000 people apply, and it's a mixture of the best fantasy football analysts, some athletes, some of the top names in the business. And I actually was invited to the Cincinnati live draft this year, so I will be going that. Very excited about that. I'll be going down to Cincinnati. I'm doing a whole weekend. Take my family. We have Cedar Point passes because I live up here towards Cedar Point. So Kings Island is right around there, the corner. And we get to use our passes for that. We're gonna do 2 days, and gonna hopefully bring home the league trophy when it's all said and done to Cleveland. And speaking of Cleveland, I got invited to the Cleveland live draft as well. So I'll be doing both. Very excited about that. That's been a couple weeks, and I'm just super excited. Go check out at Fantasy Cares. Scott Fish, he puts on an incredible thing. They do a ton of everything for charity. It's a really cool thing, and it's pretty coveted. I'm just very grateful to get invited last year, and then to do the live drafts this year is going to be an honor. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, that's awesome. By the way, your mic kind of cut in and out there a little bit. Not too sure what's going on.
Hello?
Yeah, it just sounds fuzzy a little bit. But yeah, that's awesome, man. You should be really proud of yourself, because that's a huge accomplishment, and I think you're going to dominate that league. So congrats.
Thank
Next year, I hope to get in. So we'll see what happens.
I might be able to get you in. We'll see.
Sweet. Also,
you kind of stuck at fantasy football, so.
Okay. So let's catch up with where we're at with our off-season program.
That one.
We have done a lot of things so far this off-season, and it has just been a joy to be here with all of you. We spent 9 episodes talking and leading up through the draft, talking about all these prospects and players that were going to be drafted and what kind of fantasy implications they could have once they were landed in the NFL. So we spent 2 weeks talking through quarterbacks, 3 weeks talking through wide receivers and running backs, another week talking through tight ends, wins, and all of it led up to this awesome live moment where we talked through the round 1 of the draft with all of you. It was amazing. It was great. So much
It was
fun.
awesome.
If you missed it,
913 live viewers for our draft special, guys.
Crazy.
It was amazing. So
yeah, and if you missed it, go ahead and go back and listen to those podcasts. You can find them anywhere you get your podcast from. But it was a great time. We talked through background about who the player is, what kind of archetype they are, just talked through the categories of what they're good at, what they can work on and improve, and ideal landing spots. And I think we hit a couple of them, but maybe not a lot of them. But that's okay. And then after that, we talked through the post-draft recap, some of our favorite landing spots and least favorite. We broke down veteran players that will be impacted from it, and then did our own dynasty rookie draft. We did a episode of New Homes, New Value, and then we also did a episode of Superflex Dynasty Rookie Draft, and that was a really fun one because I've never done a Superflex league before, and so it was really fun for me to try and guess where quarterbacks should go, even if they might be reaches on some picks. But yeah, and that leads us up to here we are now, the coaching carousel, talking about all these offseason moves that have happened with coaches, what kind of impacts they will have on veteran players, but also just on rookies as well as they transition to the league, and what we can expect from a lot of our favorite fantasy players that we've fell in love with over the years and what we can expect from them moving forward. And so it's a fun time. I'm excited about it. But yeah, let's jump in, shall we?
Yeah. I mean, David pretty much said it all. I mean, we're gonna shift shift gears. I say gifts. Yeah, this conversation I've been excited about for a while. You know, every offseason we talk about free agency, we talk about the drafts, we talk about trades. But the truth is, I think nothing really changes of the fantasy landscape more than a brand new head coach walking into a building with a brand new philosophy. You know, a new coach doesn't, just tweak a depth chart. I think it rewires the entire ecosystem within a team. Some coaches bring stability, some bring chaos, and some walk in immediately and make it clear that who fits their vision and who doesn't. Yeah. And this is where I think scheme meets opportunity, usage meets philosophy, and where fantasy value really gets reshaped before a single snap to even played. I'm really, really excited about this. Let's start. Ready? Let's do it.
Let's do it. The coaching carousel. So, as you said earlier, we had over 1/3 of the league getting new coaches, whether that be coaches that were recently fired or coaches that were promoted, or coaches that were stole from in division rivalries or anything like that. And so let's talk through it all because there's a lot that we kind of want to hit on here. So, Moss, why don't you start us off with what you thought was one of the bigger coaching changes from the offseason?
Yeah. Biggest coach change for me. I wasn't prepared for this, but I mean probably Harbaugh to the Giants. Maybe Kubiak to the Raiders as well. With their rookie first overall, quarterback. Maybe Pat Monkey. Pretty incompetent in Cleveland. We'll see what he does in Atlanta. But if I had to pick one, I'd probably say Harbaugh.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like he was the most coveted coach out of everybody this offseason, but if I had to pick one that I thought was the biggest change, that would have been the Buffalo Bills for me. I knew Joe Brady's coming in there to replace Sean McDermott, but Sean McDermott's been a successful head coach. He's been somebody who's produced both in fantasy football and in actual season football, maybe just not in the postseason. But he's gotten his teams far. He's gotten and put Josh Allen in position to try and win a Super Bowl, and he's not lived up to it yet. And so I was a little bit surprised to see that, but at the same time, I don't necessarily blame them because you've gotten so far. You've knocked on the door so many times in the postseason. What is it going to take to get over the hump? Maybe a new coach. And so I don't know. We'll see. I like Joe Brady a lot, but yeah, I think that was the biggest change up for me was the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, I like Joe Brady as a coordinator. We'll see how he is as a coach. Obviously, I mean, Josh Allen played well with him, and that I'm excited to see him lead that team now. So I don't know. Yeah, I mean. Any other ones? I mean, maybe Mike LaFleur with the Cardinals. I have a lot of expectations for the Cardinals this year.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there because he did a really great job in Seattle, but how is that going to transition into the Arizona Cardinals, who kind of are in limbo in quarterback mode, but have a lot of pieces around them? So it'll be interesting to see what happens there.
All right, let's get into these players, man. Do you wanna go do your number one player? Or do you want me to go first?
You go first. I'll go my second.
Do you have a number one?
I do not have a number one soundbite. We're on a
It's all
new
right.
streaming platform.
We are.
I
We'll
can
get all
do a
those.
little. I can do a little soundbite though.
All right, whatever. Man.
Number one.
Number one. All right, Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver, Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
New head coach Mike LaFleur. LaFleur walks into a system that I think finally gives Harrison structure instead of chaos. The old Cardinals offense felt like they were guessing all the time. LaFleur's offense is built on rhythm, spacing, intentional target distribution. I can't talk today. Distribution, that's the word. I think that's exactly what Harrison has been missing. LaFleur's passing game is built on route sequencing. It's not isolation. Yeah. Harrison thrives when he's asked to win in multiple ways, not just the same handful of routes that he has been running in the past few years. I expect more downfield layering, which plays directly into Harrison's strength as a vertical technician. LaFleur's history with guys like Puka, Devontae Adams, even Garrett Wilson his rookie season shows he knows how to feature elite receivers without force feeding them into predictable looks. In terms of fantasy, I think Harrison this year, I'm going to put my stamp on it. He becomes a high efficiency wide receiver 1 candidate instead of a boomer bust wide receiver 2. Target quality is going to improve dramatically, I think. Even if, the volume stays similar, I think the looks will absolutely be cleaner for him. I think his red zone usage increases. LaFleur loves designing isolation matchups near the goal line. His weekly floor, I think, stabilizes. No more disappearing acts when the offense, stalls, because, that was a huge issue for fantasy the last few years. The quarterback uncertainty I think matters less as well. I think LaFleur's system manufactures open throws, which is just going to help him out. If Marvin Harrison stays healthy, this is the season he finally becomes the player that everyone drafted him to be. I think he's a legitimate breakout pick with a top 10 upside. So.
You hear that word breakout there? I wish I had a soundbite for that because I feel like eventually we're going to have to talk about who some of our breakout candidates are. And I agree with you. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the prime suspect right now for a breakout season. The new coach coming in, I think earlier I said from the Seahawks. He's actually from the Rams.
From the Rams, yeah.
Yeah, and he just led the Rams offense to be one of the most efficient offenses really in NFL history. He led Matt Stafford to getting an MVP season. He led Puka Nacua to really what should have been an Offensive Player of the Year season, and he's had a dynamic running room that whole time too. So Mike LaFleur, I'm very excited about him getting his hands on Marvin Harrison Jr., molding him into this true number one wide receiver. Nice. So yeah, I agree with you. He's a big winner. He wasn't on my list, but he's definitely should be on a winner for the offseason. But yeah, my first one that I've got would be Brock Bowers, the tight end for the Las Vegas Raiders. Notice I did not say Oakland Raiders.
It's so funny that I knew Brock Bowers was going to be your first guy.
Dude,
I knew it.
I feel like he's just the biggest winner this offseason. He's somebody who comes in as the clear number one weapon in that passing game. There's no other wide receiver in front of him. Ashton Genty's a good player, but not an offensive receiver weapon, even though he is dynamic in the passing game. And Brock Bowers is just going to be the focal point for a rookie quarterback that's going to need somebody that can be a check down Charlie for him. And so I'm really excited about it. Clint Kubiak was the Seahawks offensive coordinator. See, I'm just getting it all mixed up today. But he's somebody who was hired here to come in and be the builder of this young offense that has a lot of weapons around it, and just kind of put it all together for this young group, seeing how they can actually form into a formidable NFL offense. And I think at the center of that's going to be Brock Bowers. He's somebody who came into the league 2 years ago and was just awesome tight end number one for fantasy football, and I think the sky's really the limit for him here. This is where he can take that leap, become that like Gronk type of a player as an established dominant NFL tight end for fantasy football purposes for years to come. And so I think this is a match made in heaven for Brock Bowers and Clint Kubiak. I'm excited to see what happens, but yeah, it should be a good time.
Love it. Good one. I like Brock Bowers, yeah. I might talk about him later.
Okay, shall we get to number 2?
Number 2, bro.
Number 2, we've got, for me at least, Zay Flowers, wide receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. So
You're
you
so
might be,
predictable.
just let me be me, okay?
Continue. Go ahead.
So you talk about how John Harbaugh was somebody who was on his way out, got the boot, a little bit surprising. I agree with you on that. But he was somebody who was really not such a offensive-minded person. And then they go in and hire a defensive-minded head coach. But I think that's going to be really helpful for Zay Flowers because this offensive coordinator that they got is going to be somebody who just focus on him and only him, and that is Declan Doyle. Zay Flowers is going to be the focal point of this passing game. We saw last year Lamar is trying to take a step back from all the scrambling that he does and all the improv running that he does and just working on actually developing a passing consistency. And he's going to need a true number one for that, and that is Zay Flowers in my mind. And so if Doyle can do it, I think that he can really turn Zay Flowers into this dynamic wide receiver one that we saw in the playoffs and end of the year last year for the Ravens. And so I think he could take the step and become a true wide receiver one, similar to what you view Marvin Harrison Jr. as. And I think it could be really, really dynamic for fantasy football.
First off, Doyle rules.
Doyle rules!
Second, I disagree wholeheartedly, but I mean, I'm not even going to argue it. Whatever.
Okay.
I mean, Lamar clearly was not focusing on passing last year. He stopped running because he had the yips because he was injured for half the season and it didn't look good. And hopefully he rejuvenates that this year, but I am a little skeptical on that even. So, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Zay Flowers. I actually like some rookie receivers on that team to take some percentage away from him, so.
Okay, we'll see. Well, who's your number two?
All right, number 2 for me, Bijan Robinson.
He's on my list too.
Man. All right, so I just talked about how I've been talking about for 5 years now how Kevin Stefanski sucks and he's incompetent and he shouldn't be a head coach in the NFL and he shouldn't be the coach of my team, the Browns. All that to be said, I am excited for him to at least be coaching Bijan Robinson. For me, I don't think he was the sexiest hire. Obviously, I'm a Browns fan. Because I've been crapping on the guy for a long time. But I do think he's one of the safest hires for a running back. His entire offensive identity is built on structure, efficiency, and a run game that sets the tone. And now, he gets Bijan, the most talented back he's ever coached. It could have been Nick Chubb, obviously, but Micah Fitzpatrick is a dirty, dirty douchebag. Nonetheless, Stefanski, he runs a wide zone system, and I think that gives Bijan a cleaner reads and more space. Atlanta's offensive line is already strong. I think Stefanski's scheme is going to make that better. I think play action becomes a weapon again, which is going to slow down linebackers and open up, cutback lanes. Bijan is clearly going to become the centerpiece, of this offense, and not to mention, they still have to focus on, a guy like Kyle Pitts or Drake London. I really think Bijan is going to have a really, really good year this year. Fantasy impact, I think this is personally where the leap happens. His workload is stabilized. No more random weeks where he gets 11 touches, in a random week. His road zone volume is going to increase a ton. Stefanski's offense, always creates, running back scoring chances. Yep. His efficiency is going to rise. Bijan's yards after contact should absolutely spike in this scheme. Think of Quinshon Judkins last year, who was averaging like 8 yards after first touch, which is insane. And that was behind an awful offensive line. This is behind a very good offensive line. I think Bijan's receiving usage is going to improve. Stefanski loves backs that, he can use in the screen game. We've seen that for years with the Browns. Yep. I truly think that Bijan Robinson has a path to finishing as the running back 1 overall in fantasy this year. I think this is the perfect marriage for, his talent and Stefanski's scheme for running backs. So
yeah, and I agree with you on this. He was on my list too as a big winner. I was probably going to talk about him here anyway. But yeah, he's somebody who I think clearly can have a clear-cut path to being the running back 1 this year and kind of take that leap that you talked about to becoming that like Christian McCaffrey type of fantasy value. He's somebody who's just so dynamic, and for all the shortcomings that Kevin Stefanski had for this Browns tenure that he was in here for, he's going to really love Bijan Robinson. He was great when it came to the run game and any sort of like scripted running games and screen passing games that you talked about. And I love Nick Chubb. He was my favorite Brown player, but Nick Chubb's no Bijan Robinson. And so I
Right.
think that Bijan really just has the moon as his ceiling and just could really, really be dynamic this year. So, yeah, I love this pick. He's a clear winner for me, too. I'm not even going to say another name because that was who I was going to talk about anyway. So
There you go.
all right.
You want to do number 3?
3? Or 4? 4.
3.
3. We just did 3, didn't we? Because I started with 2.
1. Bro, I've only done 2, so.
Oh, okay then. Number 3. Counting's hard, so.
That's fine. I'll go first this time.
Okay.
Harold Fannin Jr., tight end from the Cleveland Browns.
Mossor, he's my next one on my list.
David, get out of my list. This is funny. We usually never have the same list.
We never do.
Monken has always been a tight end elevator.
Yeah.
Everywhere he's been, the tight end has been a central piece of the passing game, and now he inherits a young, versatile weapon who already led the Browns in receiving yards and touchdowns as a rookie. Harold Fannin, slot-heavy usage fits perfectly with Monken's preference for a flexible tight end, who can win in space. Monken builds passing concepts to start with the tight end, and not ending with them. Cleveland's lack of established wideouts, young, promising, drafted pretty high, but still rookies, and then Jerry Jeudy means that Fannin becomes a natural focal point in this offense. His after catch ability becomes a featured trait, not an occasional bonus like it was last year. I think Fannin is going to be one of the most polarizing tight ends in fantasy drafts this year, and for good reason. His red zone usage is going to spike. Monken loves scheming tight ends into mismatches inside the 10. He loves it.
Yep.
His efficiency is going to improve. We're talking better spacing, better timing, fewer contested targets. I think the risk is probably ADP inflation. I think he's going to be drafted more aggressively, maybe too aggressively this year. But I truly think he's a legitimate tight end 1 with a top 5 upside. But I think the cost is going to be steep this year because a lot of guys are going to get on him.
Yep.
I think, but the usage for real this year is going to be absolutely insane for Harold Fannin Jr. So.
No, I agree, and I think that he could really benefit from having actual playmakers at the wide receiver position in Casey Concepcion and Denzel Boston.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree with you. He's a clear winner, somebody who Todd Monken's just going to love and adore, and already has chemistry with Shedeur Sanders, so it's great. So I guess let me ask this question, because I was going to ask it anyway when I brought him up. But for Harold Fannin Jr.,
Okay.
What kind of tier would you put him in when you're drafting for redraft leagues for tight ends? Because obviously right now you have like the Trey McBride, Brock Bowers as your tight end 1s. Where would you put Harold Fannin after them?
I'm putting in the second tier with Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren, and Harold Fannin Jr., the top 3 rookies last year. I'm trying to think if there's any other guy. I mean, obviously the dude. I'm losing.
Travis Kelce?
No, not Kelce. God, the Packers guy. He tore his ACL, and I forget now. Oh my lord!
Luke
Fantasy
Musgraves, is that who it is? Or
no, that's his backup.
Tucker Kraft.
I can't believe he's been out of the picture for almost a year now. Sorry, guys. Maybe if he comes back, maybe Kyle Pitts in Stefanski's offense could break that. But I'd put Harold Finn. I truly think he's going to lead in receptions again and in targets and get better opportunities this year on top of it. Because he's going to be a major focal point in this offense. I can't believe I lost all credibility on Tucker Kraft. Oh my gosh.
Tucker. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think tier 2 is where he belongs. I'm still torn, I guess, between Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland of who to kind of put in that group first. But I think Harold Fannin belongs in that conversation for sure as well. So
give me my Pookie. Give me Tyler Warren.
I like Tyler Warren a lot, especially the opportunity that he has now that Michael Pittman's gone. But yeah, we'll
compared to Loveland's opportunity, I mean, Loveland looks great, but you got Bird and you got Rome Odunze, you got
DJ Moore's gone now, though. So.
Yeah, so I mean, great, but no, I don't know.
We will
Third
see.
option compared to number 1 option.
Yeah. All right. Let's jump into number 4, shall we? All right, number 4. I'll go first here. That would be quarterback Cam Ward, who I think is going to be a winner for this upcoming season for fantasy football. If you took him early in your rookie draft last year, guess what? Holding him is going to pay off. He finally has a pretty dynamic wide receiver core around him, and has a reinforced offensive line and a head coach who is looking to go out and get blood and prove himself as being a head coach worthy candidate.
Get blood. Whoa.
What?
You said get blood. Whoa.
I guess.
He's
yeah.
ready.
Maybe. So yeah, that would be Robert Saleh, the ex 49ers defensive coordinator, but still somebody who I think has shown flashes of being a good head coach. The Jets situation, I don't really necessarily blame all on him. That thing was just a mess because it's the Jets. And so, yeah, I think somebody like Saleh can come in, kind of help establish that culture, help build that defense up that was so putrid last year, and kind of make that team competitive and help Cam Ward kind of find some footing and grounding to kind of grow and plant roots here in the NFL. And so I'm really excited about it. He's got some good dynamic wide receivers around him now. The running game is still a little questionable. But, yeah, I think he could be really, really good in year 2 and could be somebody who throws for a lot of touchdowns. So
I don't hate it. Yeah, I mean, Carnell Tate's my wide receiver 1 in this draft. I really, really like him a lot. We'll see. I also sneaky pick Ty Montgomery. I really like Ty Montgomery right now. Hearing some good things out of camp. So,
yeah,
I don't know. He undrafted free agent out of John Carroll in Cleveland. So we'll see. I'm rooting for him. We all should be rooting for him. But a couple nice catches on Twitter I saw a couple days ago. So
good for him.
Yeah. All right, my number 4, right? Yeah, 4.
Yep.
All right. David already talked about this guy, but Brock Bowers is my number 4. Obviously, new head coach in Clinton Kubiak for the Las Vegas Raiders.
That's my
First thing I wrote was for sure David's top guy. LOL.
You were right. You were right.
I know you. Kubiak, I think, is probably one of the sneakier home run hires of the cycle. He's young, he's sharp, he comes from a coaching lineage, that knows how to build an offense around its best players. And in Vegas, that's Brock Bowers. Kubiak's system is built on play action, spacing, defined reads, and I think which is absolutely ideal for tight ends, let alone the top 1 or 2 tight end in the NFL. Bowers becomes a designated design touch player, not just a bailout option. They're going to incorporate this guy in the scheme and get him some touches that are schemed for sure. The run game will improve. Obviously, Ashton Jeanty there as well, so that's going to open up the middle of the field more for Bowers. I think quarterback play is going to stabilize, which Bowers desperately needed. He's had just some of the worst bums as his quarterback far in the NFL. In terms of fantasy, I think Bowers may not match his rookie explosion. Did you comment on our thing? Right
I did. I was having some fun.
David comment.
Brock Bowers is my life.
All right, whatever, bro. His weekly consistency is going to improve, I think. I think Kubiak's structure eliminates the wild swings. Target quality is going to rise for him. Like I said, more scheme touches, fewer desperation throws. His yard after catch opportunities are going to, I think, greatly increase, which is huge for fantasy football. Kubiak's spacing concepts, create a runway, especially in the middle of the field. And I think his touchdown upside grows as well. He's going to have much better, red zone sequences. He's locked in tight end 1. I don't know. I still like Trey McBride, but he's tight end 1, tight end 2 with a strong chance to finish top 2 or 3 at the position this year. So,
yep. If he's not 1, he's only going to be 2. Those are
we'll see.
options.
I mean, injuries could be a concern. They still don't have the best offensive line, although they paid Tyler Lindemann on that outrageous contract. We'll see. There's still some holes. So
yeah, but he's my Pookie this year.
I hear you.
Head over heels for all in for him. So
all
right. Let's get into number 5, our last one.
Last one.
Okay,
right.
Number 5. So I'll start here with my number 5. That would be Ashton Jeanty. You just talked about Brock Bowers for the Raiders. I'm going to talk about the running back, Ashton Jeanty. This is coming off of a season where the Seattle Seahawks had a very dynamic running game, right? And so they had, I'm forgetting his name.
Kenneth Walker.
Kenneth Walker, thank you. Yes, so he was the literal Super Bowl MVP. Wow. struggle's real. And so
Couple
you
weeks
get
off, bro.
Kubiak into that offense with somebody like an Ashton Genty, and I think fireworks are just going to happen. He's somebody who's just a young, athletic freak when it comes to the position, and I think he's going to make some highlight reels, score a lot of touchdowns, and get a lot of yards. I'm very, very excited about him moving forward for fantasy football because of Clint Kubiak, and I think that the sky is really, really the limit here. Yes, I know you mentioned there's holes in the offensive line, but they did just pay a center a obscene amount of money to kind of help fill some of those holes, and I think that they can really improve moving forward. And maybe it's not until year 3 when Ashton Genty really proves himself as the most number one sought-after fantasy asset for a running back, but this year I think he takes a step towards that. And so I'm really excited about it. I think he's a big winner, but we'll see. So, who's your number 5?
If you go back to last season and look at David's sleepers or creepers, I'm pretty sure he had this exact list of his top 5. He loves all 5 of these guys. I'm pretty sure he'll have this list again this season at some point for something. So,
hey, don't tempt me.
I mean, I get it.
Hey,
I mean,
at least I don't have Eligeo Manor on here, right?
that's true. Yeah, I mean, you might have a bonus pick. We never know. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so number 5 for me, Isaiah Likely, tight end for the New York Giants. Obviously, his new head coach is John Harbaugh.
Who's his old head coach?
Exactly. He's just moving along with them. Harbaugh, brings the entire Ravens DNA with him to New York. Physicality, tight end usage, the willingness to, lean on players who can win in the middle of the field. And I think Isaiah Likely is obviously that type of player. He's obviously that guy, and he knows Harbaugh's system. Harbaugh already knows how to, maximize Likely's skill set. Matt Nagy's offense uses heavy personnel, which means more snaps for the tight end. The Giants desperately need reliable pass catchers. And Likely fills that void. Obviously, Malik Neighbors, hopefully he comes back, comes back fully off of that. Oh my God, David, today's a struggle. Awful injury.
Yes.
Wan'Dale Robinson is gone. They have a rookie in Malachi Fields and just a bunch of other random dudes. So I mean, Likely, should feast. He thrives in intermediate areas, where Nagy schemes very well. For fantasy football, I think he becomes one of the best late round tight ends bets in fantasy football. He's not going to be that tier 2, tier 3 guy even, but I think there's a clear path to volume. The Giants don't have established pass catching depth, which I already talked about. I think his red zone role is going to expand. Harbaugh has always leaned on tight ends near the goal line. Mark Andrews, and before that forever. If the Giants don't add another tight end, which I don't think they're going to, I think he becomes a sleeper tight end 1. Obviously, Theo Johnson is in there as well. I still have some relative high hopes for Theo Johnson, but a lot of that were crushed when obviously Isaiah Likely followed his head coach to his new team. So you can expect him with that new contract to be a featured role in that offense. I think he's the type of player who can win you weeks without costing you a ton on draft day, and that I really, really, really like his opportunities here this year. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Bless you.
Sorry, I had to sneeze. But yeah, I think Isaiah Likely is going to be a really dynamic piece for that offense in the passing game. I'm really excited because, as you mentioned, that wide receiver room is not very deep, and if he even is like half of what he was in Baltimore when it came to the receiving game, he's going to have immediate impact in that offense. And so, yeah, I think it'll be really good. They could even be doing 2 tight end sets with Theo Johnson and Isaiah Likely, and really both of them could feast. I think there's that much opportunity for playmakers in this offense in the passing game to be involved, and I think Isaiah Likely really is hitting the ground running here in the New York Giants offense. So I like that a lot. All right, well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and wrap this up.
All right, I may be dumb, but why do you do that? Because it's like 2 seconds.
So that way I can collect myself, get my thoughts centered, and talk about what we're going to talk about next, and usually just scroll down the guide that we have for these episodes. So
Oh, okay. Well, interesting. I just
there
didn't
you
know.
go. All 70 of you got an inside peek of what we do here. So
All right. Social media call to action. Baby.
yeah, so if you're rocking with us and you're really enjoying what we're talking about here and getting ready for fantasy football season this upcoming year, go ahead and just please follow us on social media. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, Boom Chaser, wherever you get your podcast from. Just turn on automatic downloads, leave us a review. We're just trying to be wherever you are, and so just give us a follow and give us a review because we're trying to help you advance your skills in fantasy football, but also help you win your leagues because this is what it's all about. And so follow us. You're not going to want to miss what we have coming up. We've got some fan leagues that we're going to participate in, ask you all to maybe try and participate and win over us. Good luck. And then also just help you like nail your drafts as they come up. And so, yeah follow us. We're going to help you every step of the way.
Yeah. Before we move on, I just want to take a moment to thank our show sponsor, Mossor Moments Photography, which, if you didn't know, is the business my wife Hallie and I run together. Mossor Moments Photography is our husband and wife wedding photography team based right here in Cleveland. For the past 10 years, Hallie and I have had the privilege of photographing more than 100 weddings across Northeast Ohio and beyond. Every single one of those weddings was shot together, just the two of us working side by side, capturing the day as a true team. What we care about most is telling this real story of a wedding day, the genuine moments, the emotion, the little interactions that actually matter years later. We want couples to feel comfortable, natural, and completely themselves in front of the camera, and we approach every wedding with that mindset. No stiff posing, no forced smiles, just honest, meaningful images that feel true to who you are. Cleveland is home, but inspired from our travels. In every couple we met, whether it's a backyard ceremony or full-scale destination wedding, we bring the same warmth, the same consistency, and the same passion to every single shoot. If you want to see our work or learn more, you can visit our website at mossormomentsphotography.com. That's Mossor, momentsphotography.com.
It is also on your screen.
It is. Thanks, Dave. All right, David, that is going to do it for Season 2, Episode 15, the 28th episode overall of the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. What a night to come back. We took a coaching cycle that felt like old news on the calendar and actually dug into, what matters now, how these new staffs reshape roles, redefine opportunity, and quietly shift fantasy value before a single training camp rep even happens. Tonight, we broke down, the ripple effects, the systems that evaluate talent, the philosophies that unlock production, and the players who suddenly find themselves in better hands than they were a year ago. Coaching changes are one of the most overlooked parts of fantasy prep, and this episode exactly is why we do this show, to find the edges before everyone else catches up. And next week we're switching into draft mode once again, because next Thursday we are running a full 12-team standard fantasy football mock draft live on the couch. Real picks, real strategy, real conversation about how the board should fall now that we've had time to digest the entire offseason. If you want to get caught up before we go on the clock next week, make sure you check out the mock drafts we've already done this offseason. You can find them on Spotify or just our previous posts. We did a rookie dynasty mock draft. We did a rookie superflex mock draft, which David alluded to. Both of those episodes are available wherever you stream your podcast, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, all of it. Go listen, get your bearings, and come into next week ready to draft with us. For David Kahoun, follow him at DavidKahoun24. I'm Ryan Mossor. You can find me at DynastyCLE. This has been the Commissioner's Couch Fantasy Football Podcast. We will see you next week. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and as always, we will see you back on the couch soon.
Good luck.
Good luck.